When his disciples were not able to cast out demons and those who were sick, Jesus tells them this kind cannot come out except by prayer and fasting. The disciples, they were doing miracles at the time, but there were some miracles that they couldn't do, including healing some people who were sick. And Jesus, instructing them to pray and fast, encourages them to remain humble through their journey. But just like there are some demons that the disciples were not able to cast out, for physicians, there are some diseases that may not be easily cast out with current treatment options. For example, many times people suffer from diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, and yeah, there are medications that will help treat these, but there's also a lot of lifestyle changes or lifestyle factors that play a role, such as eating healthy, getting regular exercise, trying to sleep well, taking care of oneself. In fact, would probably be better options than medications because medications can have side effects, and if these unhealthy lifestyle changes continue, the medications may not even be that effective. But I want to focus a little bit more if any mental health diseases can be treated or helped through prayer and fasting. And just a disclaimer, I'm a psychiatrist, so when someone comes to me in the office setting or the hospital setting with anxiety, depression, or some sort of mental health symptom, I'm most likely going to recommend a medication to try to treat it. But many times, these situations may not need medications, or perhaps medications can predispose somebody to unnecessary side effects, and there may be better ways to address it. First of all, I'll talk a little bit about prayer and what scenarios prayer may be helpful in mental health. I think this is going to be especially true in certain relationships, like between spouses, with family members or friends, a supervisor or colleagues. These certain relationships that people have in which they may get irritated, annoyed, frustrated. So medications may be able to help with some of that tension that one feels or experiences, but it's not necessarily going to change the situation. And because you can't really control so much the environment or the people that you're around with, one thing I think that would be especially important is pray. Prayer gives the opportunity to give the situation to God and allow God to deal with the situation, whether it's the environment, whether it's the person, whether it's your own tensions or emotions or frustrations that you're having. Also try to live a good life, and through good behaviors, perhaps that can change the other person. Perhaps the other person can be changed or persuaded by one's good behaviors. But scientifically, prayer is shown to help with some of the neurotransmitters that are implicated in mental health. And so yes, prayer can help to cast out some mental health problems. Actually, prayer has also been shown to be helpful with auditory hallucination. Now, when it comes to fasting, there can be a variety of fasting depending on the person's age, their life circumstances, their activity level. I talk more about a video about fasting, which you can click on the link above. But simply put, in the Orthodox faith, fasting is going to involve abstaining from food and drink for a period of time. And then when someone is eating or drinking, they do vegan foods. So foods free from meat and dairy products. Now there's also other types of fasting, such as just restricting caloric intake, just refraining from food and drink for a certain time of day, but then choosing to eat whichever. Perhaps there's also fasting just from meats and dairy, but fish is okay. So there's different types, and again, it depends on the person's variety level, but the main principle here is just the one's natural tendencies or urges for food and drink or certain stuff to help control or moderate that a little bit so you don't always act on those urges. It's almost a very similar principle to like mindfulness. Mindfulness teaches, and again, there's another link you can click on. Mindfulness teaches that whatever goes in one's thoughts and one's feelings, whatever their sensations are having, you don't necessarily have to act on it. It's just a feeling or a thought. It's going to go away. You don't have to give it too much attention. Fasting in this way not only helps one to typically lose weight, but it also will help with symptoms of anxiety, depression. It'll help with obesity, diabetes. They find that someone who eats more sugary foods or sweet foods or junk food, they're going to be more likely to develop psychological symptoms and develop symptoms of anxiety and depression. Just like they're more likely to have symptoms of obesity, high cholesterol, heart disease, etc. Conversely, someone who eats more fruits and vegetables and healthy source of proteins, nuts, they're less likely going to have obesity, high blood pressure, cholesterol problems. They're also less likely to suffer from anxiety and depression. Now, I know there's going to be some exceptions on this based on family history, based on what's going on, based on a variety of things, but these are just more general rules of thumb that seem to hold weight. So furthermore, it's believed that fasting, if one is able to control themselves from the food and drink that they have, they're going to be more likely to be able to control themselves from any thoughts that are negative or telling them to do bad things or something that's not right. So they're going to have more control over the thoughts, which are going to have more control over the feelings and their behaviors. And so just a cycle that really does have a profound impact on mental health. Again, this is not a substitute for medications, not a substitute for therapy, but it just shows that living a good life with moral principles, living in the right way, can help one to have healthier physical and mental health. Medications and therapy can be used in conjunction with living a good moral life. I hope you like this video. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already and like the video for more videos like this.